everyone, it's Yvette, founder of Kouture Yves and SewYves. Kouture Yves is my luxury handmade design for bags and accessories, and SewYves is where I demonstrate how to create beginner friendly patterns, clothing with beginner friendly patterns. So, welcome. If this is your first time here, please like the live and subscribe. So, today we're going to be working on the Dallas Duffel by Swoon patterns. We're going to make it in the small size. It's definitely going to be a statement piece. We're going to be using pink ostrich fabric. I'm using fabric tack now to I'm going to use some fabric tack on some Decoville just to put behind the hardware. Hi, welcome. Hi, Sebs. How you doing? I'm putting the backing on the hardware so it doesn't wear and tear over time. How you doing? Are you sewing tonight? I'm working on the Dallas duffel bag in the pink ostrich. I'm thinking to, the bag calls for a drop-in lining. I'm thinking to do the lining a different way. I don't know. I haven't decided. I haven't decided, but we'll figure that out. Today is like my Friday. I do not have to work tomorrow. Thank goodness. I do not have to work tomorrow. But I do have to do some homework. So, oh, this is coming up again. Hold on. Let's press it down. And then we're going to add this one. So when I'm doing bags and stuff, I like to put like a strip of Decoville or some type of a stabilizer behind the hardware, because over time, the wear and tear, the hardware will go through the fabric or the lining. I'm doing good, thank you. It's 11 p.m. You don't so late. Oh yeah, me too. Me too. If I'm tired, and I push myself, I start to make a lot of mistakes. That's how I know. And if I'm talking to somebody, I start rambling. Like I'll just be talking. Be like, that's my thing. My niece has this thing where I know when she's tired because when she starts walking, she'll hit like the wall. She'll bump into the wall a lot. She'll bang her head on the wall. So me and my family, we all got little things that we do. Me, I either talk or like if I'm sewing, I'll just be making mistakes, but I'll just sit there and I'll just force myself. Like sometimes I'll just be pushing it. I'll be pushing it. Like last night, I got up in the middle of the night. So since I was up, I was like, you know what? Let me turn on the iron. And then turning on the iron, I ended up pressing out some hems. So now all I gotta do is just, stitch over the hems either later on tonight or tomorrow of a couple of dresses that I have made. So I'm just pressing right now this glue onto the hardware. This is the Decoville that I put on here. And sorry. But this is the little bit that I did. So I put a little bit here. These are where the bag tag is right here. And then this is where the strap connectors are. This is the bottom stabilizer. We don't need this anymore. So now while we let that dry, let's work on the caps, which is the sides of the duffel. So what I did here was I put the strap in the middle with the strap connector. And I put some double-sided tape on the other side to hold it in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew up, over, and down. And this is the ostrich family I decided to use. So yeah, let's do that. And then I'm using pink thread. I was going to use, jeez, my tablet keeps falling. Let me fix this. So I was going to use, a black thread since I am using black waterproof canvas for the lining, but I decided against it. I found this pink thread. Let me show you. So I found this pink thread in my stash. So I was like, oh, I'm going to use that. That's a cute little pop. So we're going to use that. And yeah, so that's that. So what I'm going to do is I already have it in place with the double-sided tape. So I could easily just sew. Let me turn this way so I can see the comments. Alright. I didn't realize it was so late over there by where you are, Sabs. It is, so if it's 11 there, it is 6:11 here. I'm going to use a 4-stitch length. Get this one here. I'm going to use a 4. And this is staying in place because I put the double-sided tape on it. So I know it's in the middle. I know it didn't shift. And I'm just taking my time because with this thread you can see it and it looks cute. Hold on, I'm going to show you in a second once I do this. Right. Yes. And turn here. I'm going to come over. I need to go one more. Yes, I do. Right there. Perfect. I'm going to show you what this looks like. This looks real cute. Now, the pattern calls for fleece to be used. I'm not using anything. I'm just going to use the waterproof canvas. I'm using as the lining. I'm using this ostrich fabric as the fashion piece. And we're going with chrome hardware. So I put the hardware on yesterday while we was on live at the other channel. So right now I am closing this out. Oh, look how cute that looks. Oh, that looks super nice. I love it. Okay. It looks real nice. I think that looks dope. Okay, cool. When you start to see like your work, you know, coming into form, you start, I don't know, but I get excited. I get excited when I start to see my work like really come together. We're going to do the same thing that we did on that one. We're going to do it on this one. Again, I have the double-sided tape holding this in place in the center, so I don't really have to worry too much about the placement. I was flattening it out almost all day while I was working. I was fooling around with it at the same time, just pressing it against the fabric. I like the double-sided tape that I get from Wawa. Their double-sided tape for some reason has been like the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah. I figured that, subs. Because if it's 6 o'clock here and it's 11 o'clock there, you're a few hours ahead. turn, and we're gonna do the same thing that we did. One more, turn it, and we're going down. Hold on a second. I gotta skip stitch because the double-sided tape is sticking. It's all good. We're not gonna panic. We're not gonna panic. Let me just clean this off a little bit. Let me get a piece of tissue. Hold on. See, that glue is like, that double-sided tape is crazy. All right, we're gonna try this again. And I figured that was gonna go crazy because it started skipping stitches and I didn't go too far, so that's good. You're not gonna see the holes. Or you don't see the holes in this fabric anyway, so that's perfect. Because you know, some fabrics, you take the stitch out, you can see the holes. But this one you can't. Nope. So what we're gonna do is we are going to clip that there. And we're gonna continue on from there. So I'm gonna put the needle right after the place where I have the double-sided tape. And since I cleaned the needle, perfect. Now we're gonna go ahead, 1, 2, go back, and then come forward again. And we're gonna keep going. Oh, perfect, I'm right on point. And there's no more double-sided tape on here. I just put the double-sided tape like in the middle. I put the double-sided tape in the middle of the strip just to hold it in place. So that's the only place on here that has the double-sided tape. I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. Oh gosh, it looks like it's still skipping. Hold on. Hold on. We got a little issue here. We have a little issue here. And you still can't see the holes. So let me be careful in how I take these threads out. I appreciate you guys taking the time to join me today. Thank you. Okay. Let's leave that there because that's where the tape is at, right? And since we're having an issue with skip stitches, I'm just going to rethread the machine real quick so we can eliminate that. Let me clean this first. I'm cleaning the needle just to get all the stuff off, all the sticky stuff from the tape. Making sure I clean that off real quick. Okay. Okay, so that's clean, right? Let's rethread real quick. Let's rethread. Ooh. Let's take, hold on. I'm just regretting the machine. Automatic threader. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strip of fabric and I'm going to test it real quick to see if it's still sticking. Let's see. Nope, that seemed to fix the problem. So let's get back to it. So I'm gonna go right back to where I was, but I'm gonna go to like the end. And let's go. And then we're gonna turn this way. Perfect. It always helps to just stop and just clean the needle off real quick. Yeah, it takes about, an extra 2 to 3 minutes, but it's worth it if you want a product that, Let me show you what it looks like. Hold on. Let me just clean up the thread tails real quick, and then you'll see what it looks like. You can't even tell I went over that like 3 times. You can't even tell that I went over that. Look at the difference. Can you tell the difference? You can't really tell to me. I don't think you can tell. But okay, so we have that done. Okay. So we got that done, right? So now what we are going to do is we are going to work on, so I decided to use this rainbow zipper since it has the pink and the black and the bag is pink. This is what the bag looks like on the other side. This is how I have it set up. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to work on the zipper for the exterior. I'm going to use that. Let me get the instructions. Where's my instructions? Right here. Okay. So it looks like what I need to do is, okay. What I need to do is I needed to pin the 2 exteriors together. And we are going to sew 1/2 inch So we're gonna sew this at a 1/2 inch, and then we're going to add our zipper. So let's do that. And let me get my 2 zipper pulls here together, and let me grab the double-sided tape because we are definitely gonna need that again. But this time we're not sewing over. Let me get my seam guide here, and we need to sew at a 1-inch seam allowance, right? 1-inch seam allowance, and we are sewing. Okay, so what we need to do is mark. Give me this and give me a pen. I'm going to mark from the edge a 1/2 inch. Yes. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna do a 1/2 inch right here. We're gonna mark that. Right. So that goes there. We're gonna mark a 1/2 inch on this side. I like this Dallas Duffel bag. I just never made it in the small. I've always made the medium. So I want to compare and see how big or small, how small this one is compared to the medium. Sorry, y'all. Mocha is turned up. She just woke up. Alright, so we're going to sew this at a 1/2 inch. So let's do that. You know what? I'm going to put a couple of clips on the side to help me control this and keep it even. So let me do that. Let me put a couple of clips right here. Put a couple of clips right here just to help me control it, because this is it's a nice size piece of fabric. Let me put this right here, and let's do another one down here, so that way it doesn't shift as much. Okay, so we're gonna do a 1/2 inch. And we did clean our needle, so we should not have like skip stitches. So now I have to increase the stitch length, and we're gonna sew this out. Is anybody sewing tonight? What are you guys doing? You guys are keeping me company. Thank you. I appreciate it. I haven't mastered yet how to play music on my channel, so I figure we can just keep each other company until I figure that part out. Now that my classes are winding down, I think next week is my last week. I can put, more effort and attention into these projects. So I have some time that I'm gonna dedicate to taking photos and creating content for my social platforms. So I know, thank you. It didn't look like it. It did not look like I had to sew over it twice. And even when I did the seam ripping, when I had to take those couple of little stitches out, you couldn't even see like the holes in the fabric. So I was like, oh, perfect. I like that type of fabric. When I end up catching those types of fabric on sales and stuff like that, I grab them, because sometimes I make mistakes, and you don't want to toss out the fabric. And some fabrics you can really see the holes when you take stitches out. So that's why I always take like a piece of scrap and I'll do like a test, and then I have to go back to my regular seam stitch length, sorry, and we're gonna do the same thing we did on the other side. Let's close that out. So now we have that, right? So basically I'm just following what it said. I sewed it for half, sewed it for half, and then the rest we did like a basting stitch. So now I'm going to take these off. I like the way it's coming together though. This is really coming together nice. That's how it looks so far. So I think now what are we doing? I'm just gonna follow the pattern. I think the pattern calls for a drop-in lining, so I guess we might as well do it. Why not? I was gonna do it the other way where you just put, you know, the exterior lining, sew it down. But I'm gonna just follow the pattern with the raw side of the main panels up. Press the seam allowance, pin the zipper face down. Okay, so let me get my zipper and my poles. So I'm gonna put this here. So I'm gonna have the poles going in and outward. I'm gonna have my poles going in and outward. So we got one zipper pull on. Let's do the other side. And do the other side. We're going to perfect. It's gonna look super cute against this fabric. Okay, let me find my center. Geez, Mocha woke up. And she's gonna get Oreo turned up, and then they both gonna turn up. Alright, let's see. So they're gonna do that. That just smacked me right in my face. Back on the center. Okay. So now we're going to open this. Alright, double-sided tape. Now the double-sided tape, this is the one I get from Wawa. I love this double-sided tape. Let me tell you, this tape is the truth. So what I generally do when I'm doing the bags, depending on the zipper pull that I have, I like to put a little double-sided tape on it. Like since this one is long, it's a long zipper pull. I'm gonna put a piece of double-sided tape on it, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape it to the teeth of the zipper. And that's gonna keep this zipper pull out of the way when I'm sewing. So, like so. You see it's out of the way. I put a little piece of double-sided tape on it. And then when I finish working with the zipper, yeah, it'll take me some time to rub off, you know, the gook of the sticky of the tape, but at least I know that my zipper is gonna look that much better because I moved it out of the way. I don't have to worry about it getting caught up in the needle when I'm sewing. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the second side. This piece was a little too big. Okay. What am I doing here? So it's my nails. My nails are interfering today. All right. This is how this is gonna go. We're wasting time playing with this little piece of tape. There we go. Is it on there? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to lay that down there. And you see it's out completely out of the way. So now I am going to take a little bit of double-sided tape and we're going to put it on the edge. Yes, we're gonna put it here on the edge of the zipper, so we can lay it down. So we can lay it down on the inside of the seam allowance. So let's just do a little bit there. Do the same thing on the other side. So we are going to put some here. She's just talking. My dog is just downstairs talking because if she was hungry or she wanted something or if somebody was at the door, her bark would be completely different. So right now she woke up and she's just running her mouth. Now if she comes up here and the other one comes up here and they come together, then I know it's time to give them some type of food or something. Okay, so now I have my double-sided tape on my zipper. I am going to open this up and we're going to start laying this down. So what I like to do is put a clip on the ends here. Let's do the same thing on the other side. And then that will help me to pin this down. So let's take this piece off. Now we're going to struggle again. Here we go. Let's do it this way. Perfect. So now I'm going to take off half. And I'm going to pin this half down first. And then we can work on the other half. So right here. So that's that. Perfect. Right. I'm going to take this off. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So now I'm gonna make sure that that lays down. I'm going to take this clip off of here and we're going to clip it down with the zipper and the double-sided tape. And just to make sure that everything is lining up, I'm just looking under. That's right there. Alright, let's do the same thing to the other side now. Okay. So now I'm doing the same thing. I'm just removing the backing to the double-sided tape and pressing as I go along so that it sticks right where I need it to stick. Remove. Just remove as you go along and then just press at the same time. Right. Okay. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. Take that off. Okay. So now I have my zipper on with the double-sided tape, and now I'm going to bring it to the machine and we're going to top stitch. I'm going to top stitch as best we can. I think I should have something under here though. Yes, let me get a piece of paper. I'm gonna use some paper under the zipper because it has the tape and I don't want the tape to stick to the machine. And so I'm gonna use this piece of paper. I'm gonna put it under the machine and then I'm going to put the zipper under there so that way the double-sided tape doesn't mess with perfect. Oh, great. And let's do that straight down. Here we go. There we go. You know what? Let me move it up a little bit more. Perfect. So now I'm still gonna use my Teflon foot, but what I'm gonna do is I put the double-sided tape on the very edge of the zipper tape. So now when I sew it, it's not gonna gum up the needle. It's not in the way. So I'm just gonna top stitch it now. Perfect. Let's keep, and I'm just using my fingers to feel for the zipper tape. Hi B Chantel, how are you? Thank you for joining. I'm just top stitching now. Just taking my time feeling. I don't have to worry about the zipper pulls because we double We use double-sided tape to hold those down. But I'm still feeling just in case. And I'm reaching the poles are right here. So I'm just gonna go really slow, making sure that none of them shift on me. I find that that trick works on most zipper pulls. I haven't tried, just the ones that I've tried. There's some that I've used that it doesn't work on. So oh, okay. You taking your hair down. Oh yeah, you have braids, right? I was gonna get braids, but then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna change my hair color. I don't never know what I want to do with my hair. I just know that it's growing and I'm trying to be kind to it. Alright. Alright, y'all. So we got one side done. I'm just going to keep it this way and I'm going to work on the other side now. So let's do that. Let's do that. Alright, so we are still going to feel for the zipper tape. And we're sewing this down. I'm going to tell you, using the paper on the bottom, since I had all that double-sided tape under there, this made it so much easier. Just using, okay, here goes the zipper pulls again. I'll go slow. I'm just going slow here because that's where the okay. Let's see what we got. Where's my, let's see what we got here. How did we do? How did we do, y'all? Let's open up this side. Oh, that looks cute. So that's how it looks. Let me clean all these square tails out. Perfect. This looks cute. I like it. I'm trying to think if I want to do this top stitch over because it looks nice, but I see an area like where the zipper pulls were. It's a little wonky. So I might just take it out now that I have. Do the second row. This is gonna be a cute pink bag. My little Easter bag. I'm a little too old to be making myself stuff for Easter. But that's my Easter bag. I'm just cleaning her up a bit. Because if I don't do this now, I'm not going to do it later. I'm going to forget. And then next thing you know, I'll be sitting here with a lighter burning all these tails off. Because I didn't take the time to do it. Alright, let me see how it looks. Oh, I do like it, but I think I'm going to do this top stitch over. So instead of doing the whole thing over, oh yeah, and it has a skipped stitch. Alright, we're gonna fix that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna seam it from right here. I want my top stitch to look like it's popping. And like I said, with this fabric, you can't even tell that I'm taking seams out. So I'm just being real careful with how I take it out. I'm just going to sew over that part again. You like the color? Thank you. Thank you. I'm a pink girl. I love pink. I love anything that is in the pink family. I like pinks. I like purples. I like lavender. I like, baby pink. I like hot pink. I'm a pink girl. But I wasn't always like that. Like, I used to be a tomboy. I used to be a tomboy in my time. I used to, everything had to be blue. Everything had to be blue. But over time, I just started gravitating to pink. And pink has been like the winning color for me. It's the winning color for me. I love pink. I love pink. And I like floral prints. I like floral prints too. I didn't like floral prints, in my time. That was something that grew on me, but I love me a floral print. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a pink girl. I'm a pink girl. All the way. When I used to be at work, like have to work in the office and I had my own office, I used to get all of the, like, my office accessories used to be pink. Everything used to be pink. It used to be like, this is definitely a girl's office. Child, get out my office. All right. So I took out I took out up until the point that I didn't like. Maybe I should just take the whole thing out. I don't think I need to though. I think it was up to right. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to find my last stitch because I left a little right there. Where is it? Right there. Okay. And I am going to bring my needle down. And we are going to 1, 2. Yes, let's do it like that. Yeah, I was always a pink girl. I was a pink girl. And even now, like I have like nieces, so you know, girls always like pink. My niece is like, you ask her, what's your favorite color? Pink, purple. I be like, do you like blue? No, blue is a boy's color. I said, who said blue is a boy's color? Blue is a girl's color. Blue could, you know, girls could wear blue. Blue girls could like blue. It's not necessarily a boy's color, but if you like the color, you know, it's okay. But I get it. Girls like pink. Alright, that top stitch looks better too. And I don't see any skip stitches. And then we're going to connect it to this one right here and back up. And you can't even tell. You can't even tell I fixed it. You can't even tell I fixed it. And that's only happening right there because I have the zipper closed, but I don't need to do it to the, oh, I don't like that part right there on this side. So let me fix that. And that's not even a big piece to fix. Okay, so I'm gonna start here. I don't know how I came out of whack right there, but let's fix that. And then, let's see. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is go back under. Let's go back to where we were. And it's okay. Like sometimes people who sew bags, you know, everyone has like the preference of, should I take the seam out if I mess up, or is the project a total waste? It goes in the garbage. Listen, I have no problem in taking a seam out. I have no problem. I'd rather take the seam out and try it again to accomplish the look that I'm looking for, as opposed to just giving up and wasting fabric and tossing it in the garbage or whatever. if I'm not satisfied with the product at the end, then I will keep the product and I will use that product to practice on. I'll keep using it over and over and over, practicing the part that gave me the most trouble and try to get it right, as opposed to continuing to cut new fabric and making the same mistake. You know, I would rather just use the same fabric I was making all the mistakes on and just use it as basically as a tester, you know? Let me just sit here and make all my mistakes on this one, so when I cut into that real nice fabric and I go to sew that step, I'll know how to do it. I'll be better prepared, you know? That's what I would do. I don't have no shame in ripping out a seam. I ain't got no shame in ripping out a seam. That's why they say sew with, you know, colors that blend with your fabric. Because look, I went over that twice and you can't even see it. You can't even see, you know? So now that I did that, I'm going to tear this paper off. We don't need it anymore because we already sewed the zipper down. We got our top stitch where we wanted it to look. So we're just going to rip this paper off. Rip all that off. Yeah, this was like an extra step, but I don't mind because at least I know that the zipper is looking the way that I want it to look. Just by me taking the extra step in adding or sewing over this piece of paper. Because if not, the fabric would have been sticking to the machine with the double-sided tape, and as the fabric would have been sewing, it would have been bunching up and creating all type of issues. So I'm glad I thought in advance to add the paper. Yeah, it's gonna leave a little bit of a mess, but it's okay. Not a big deal. I'm off today. I mean tomorrow, so why not just take a little bit of time to do things that's going to make the project look a little bit nicer. Okay. So now this can go in the garbage. And then now what we're going to do is I'm going to trim my zipper down. Okay. Let's trim zippers. So do this, and we are going to grab that. Right. So we're going to give it a nice clean edge. Let's do the same on the other side now. And what I'm going to do is, let's open this up a bit. And I'm going to cut a little bit of that. And now we have a clean edge. Okay. And the zipper tape should still be on. We have that. Okay, perfect. What's next? This is garbage. See what's next. Right. we did that part. Fold over main panels right side up using a zipper foot. Tap stitch along the side, zipper 1/4 away from the seam. Use a seam ripper to remove the machine basting over the zipper teeth, leaving the two. Okay, so we did that. So now we are up to page 9. And in this case, we have to pin the exterior panels right sides together and matching all raw edges. Sew along the bottom edge only a half. Okay, so now we are working on the bottom. So we are going to take these two. We're going to put them right sides together. I do have notches, so we're going to match the notches. So let's do that. I'm going to put a purple here so I know that that's a notch. And I am going to go around. Let's do that. Because it looks like we're going to sew the bottom and then probably add the stabilizer for the base of the bag. I'm almost certain that's what we're going to end up doing. So I am just going to pin the exterior all together and get ready for the next step. Get ready for the next step. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and liking the live. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Turn on your notifications. I will be setting up a schedule on here so that everyone knows when I am live. But for the most part, I go live every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube, and then I am on the other channel on Wednesdays 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I know that classes are getting ready to come to a close. So since they are coming to a close, I will be more I'll be better prepared before lives to, make sure that we can complete the projects or try to complete them. There's nothing wrong with having 2 or 3 live sessions, but I would like to get to a point where I'm making projects that, doesn't take that long. Okay, let's see. Pin the exterior panels right sides together and matching overall edge. Okay, so along the trim. Okay, so we have to sew at a half. So give me this and give me this guy. We're going to. What in the world? There goes the hole. I'm going to use my trusty friend right here to give me that 1/2 inch. And we are going here. So let's do that. Hold that in place. And so. I'm glad I looked because my needle is not even threaded. So hold on. Okay, there we go. Let's figure this out now. then it said that I had to trim. So let's do that. I'm gonna trim half. So let's do it this way. So we're trimming 2 1/8. Okay. So we have that done, right? Alright. So now it says that repeat steps to sew the lining panels together along the top edge the same way with the image. Press open, remove the machine basting. Alright, so now we have to work on the lining. Let's see how this looks though. Let's see how this is looking so far. Let's see how this is looking so far. Let's see how this is looking so far. Oh, this is gonna be cute. This is what we have so far. Oh, this is gonna be a nice size bag. That's gonna look super cute. This is nice. Okay, let's not get distracted. Let me turn her back out. Let's turn her back out so we don't get distracted, right? And let's sit her to the side for a second. Let that sit. And let's work on the lining. So now, what do we have going on here? So we have our pieces. That's something else. These are, okay, those are purse feet. Because we're going to do purse feet. But when I do the lining and we put the bottom base together, then we'll add the purse feet. Matter of fact, I can do the purse feet now because this is a drop-in lining. So yeah, let me work on the purse feet real quick. Let me do that because I don't want to forget to add the purse feet, and then so let's do that. So I have my base already prepared, and what I'm gonna do is but I think, hold on. Hold on. So, yeah, because even if, okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open this seam. Maybe should I just do it? So right now what I'm doing is I am opening the seam and I am adding the, you know what, I need the double-sided tape for this because I cut it at an eighth. I'm gonna put some double-sided tape on that. Looks like I need some help. So, I need to just create my own bag. Cause I do follow the instructions. I do. I do follow the instructions, but a lot of times I'm hacking. I'm hacking patterns. I'm hacking a pattern. But this one I'm following the instructions on this one for the most part. Like certain steps I'm, doing my own thing, but for the most part I am following the instructions on this one. But I have no problem. I have no problem in tweaking a pattern. Believe me when I tell you. I have no problem tweaking a pattern. So what I did was I added the double-sided tape because the pattern had asked me to sew the bottom at a half an inch, and then I had to trim it. I had to trim it to an eighth, but I want to add purse feet to this bag. So I added the double-sided tape to help me lay down the seam allowance. Help me, open it and press it open. So as I'm pressing, it's gonna attach to the fabric. I don't know where it's gonna attach to. I'm gonna figure this out. And sometimes like I know I could finish a bag quicker than what I normally do. A lot of times my nails be interfering. Like I kind of gotten into the habit of doing bags with my nails on, but I can't. I mean, I can take them off, but I gotta go get them done to take them off, and I'm not taking my nails off. My nails are going long. Okay. It's gonna lay down as best as possible, but I'm gonna lay this down as best as possible. Welcome home. I'm on a live. Some dogs I got, they didn't even tell me somebody was in the house. They didn't even tell me somebody was home. Mocha been asleep all day. She's been sleeping all day. You ready to turn up now? They father home. Not they father, they own. I ain't birth no dogs around here. Okay.
You doing a lot?
Yeah, I'm about to finish off. Yes. I'm working on a Dallas Duffel bag in a pink ostrich. Perfect. So now since that laid down, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pin it right here. Perfect. Then we're going to slide it and pin it on the side. Oh, we can't. We got to slide it down a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we are going to put the purse feet in. So let's see. Okay. So I'm going to do it from this side. Oh, I forgot I have the tape. Oh, perfect. This is done. So what we're going to do is I am going to take my hole punching tool, which is, where is it? Right here. And I'm going to put a hole. Oh, I'm not doing in the middle. I'm actually doing the sides because I'm doing 6 holes. So we're going to put one right here. I'm going to put one right here. And now we're going to do this. And I'm going to put this down right here. Where's this one? Right, give me that. Give me one of these. And we're going to put that there. Give me one of these. And we're going to and then give me my press. 2. We gotta do 2 more. No, 4 more. So let's get these guys. Okay, let's put this one. And we don't need this. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure, all right, so these are 2 inches. So I think I'm going to come down to, so give me a pen. I'm going to come down 2 inches. So I got my trusty friend right here. And I'm going to come down 2. Go right here, come down 2. I'm putting 6 purse feet. 6 purse feet on this bag. We're going to do 2 inches down. I'm going to do 2 inches here. And that's 2 inches from the stabilizer. All right, cool. So now we are going to do, give me my, let's do it this way. No. I think what I should do is lay it down this way. You know what? I got an idea. Hold on. Nope. Voila. Because I'm looking at the position of the bag. And even still, I still might need to use this. Hold on. Let's figure this out real quick. So, this needs to go right here. Which means that this hole... Oh, I could do it like this. Okay. Right here. Okay, I got it. Never mind. I was making it difficult than I needed it to be. I was making it more difficult than I needed it to be. Press it. And we're going to do the same thing I just did to this side, and then we're going to flip it over and do it on the other side. So I just want to make sure that the fabric is nice and, you know, nice and flat. We're going to poke the hole. We're going to take this, I'm going to flip it, put the cap on it, and there we go. And let's do it on this side now. Let's do it on this side. Oh, and it looks good. Okay. Nah, I'll be second guessing myself, but I got it. So that can go right there. And I'm gonna move this out the way, smooth out this fabric right here. Make sure nothing's under. Make my hole right here. Watch when I flip this out. Watch when I flip this back out. Okay. One more hole to go, y'all. One more. One more. Let's make sure that this fabric is nice and put a hole right here. And we're going to put this. Okay. Let's put this away. Right. Let's put this away. Because I can't work with a whole lot of stuff in my area. Like I have to clean as I craft. Okay. Give me these holes. We don't need that. Let's close this off. Give me my seam ripper. Where's my seam ripping case? What is this? I don't know what's that. Alright, let's put this over now and see what it looks like. Because now it has a little bit of body, right? It's taking its shape. We have some hardware on here to make it look a little spruced up. So far, this is what we have. This is what we have so far. We have the front. We have the bottom, which is going to straighten out as we go along. Yeah. Yeah. Right? We got purse feet. Okay. So now we are going to work on the lining. What time is it? 7:30. I'm going to work on this lining. Okay, so we have the stabilizer in. Here goes my perfect. Okay, now we're working on the lining. Put that right there. So this is up. Okay, so the same thing we did to the exterior, we're going to do to the lining. So the first thing I'm going to do is find my midpoints, my center points. So the same thing we did. So we are going to sew at 1 inch at a 4-stitch length for 1/2 inch in the beginning and the end of this panel. And then we're going to flip it over, and on the bottom we're going to sew, I believe, at a 5/8 seam allowance. So let me mark where my 1/2 inches are. Let me mark where my 1/2 inches are. And then mark here. Repeat to sew the lining panels together along the top edge the same way with a 1 inch seam allowance. So this 1 inch will have to go here, place that there, and we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to sew 3, back stitch, forward. Now we're going to increase for a basting stitch. And once I get here, we are going to go back down to a 4-stitch length. We're going to cut. And then down at the bottom, we're going to go at a 5/8 seam allowance. So 5/8. Let me put a purple clip so I know that that is the top. On the bottom, we are going to match the edges, the notches. We're going to clip in place. We're going to sew at a 5/8 seam allowance. And then trim it, okay, and then trim it. So right now we're doing a 5/8 now. So let's go here, stitch length is at a 4. Back stitch. trim. So we're going to trim. Alright, so we trimmed. What it said, repeat the step along the top edge the same way, then press seam open and remove the basting. Okay, so now we have to open this and remove the basting stitch. So we are going to press this open like that. Go in here and let's pop a seam, pop a stitch. And now we're going to remove the basting stitch. Okay, let's do the same thing to the other side now. I'm just going to continue to we're almost done. We are almost done with this bag. Okay. So we did that. Let's see. Use the end panel paper to mark the center. Okay, we did that. To mark the center with the seam and smash the top of the zipper to the right side. Okay, so now we're back over here with this. We're gonna put this to the side, the lining, put the caps to the side. We got the bag now. We are going to work on the end caps of the duffel. So I'm gonna turn her out. I'm gonna turn her out. Okay, so I have her turned out, and now I am going to line up the caps. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up from the top, and then the bottom I have notches as well. So I'm going to match it up with the notches first. And then we're going to ease the sides in. It's a little bit bulky here, so keep that in mind. When I match notches on the bottom, because it's a sort of a straight bottom until you get to the edge, it curves. I kind of like to just pin it until I get to that curve. And then just go back to the top and just work it in. So we are going to just pin it around. And that's what I'm going to do. Just work on it. It's coming along. It's coming along. I see body. I see shape. And I see body and I see shape. I'm just gonna keep, when I get to these corners, I'm gonna pin as much as, clip as much as possible because I want these corners to come out like super crispy. Okay, so we got that side done. Now we're going to keep clipping around. We're clipping it all in place. We're clipping all in place. That one. We have reached the top. We're going to continue. You can put as many clips as you need to make sure that you get the result that you're looking for. I tend to clip a lot when I'm really interested in a project. So, see, I'm pretty much clipped. Yeah. I'm going to add more here. I'm going to clip the other side too, so that way when I sew it, I can just sew it all at once. Okay. And let's do the other side now. Oh, this is a nice size bag, y'all. It's a nice size bag. This is a nice size bag. Continue. So now we have this clipped in place. What are we doing? Let's see. Starting at the top center of the end panel, pin down one side until you get okay. With the end panel wrong side up, so at a half a seam. Alright, so a half an inch. So at a half an inch. Starting from the top. So I'm going to start this way. Starting from the top. So let's get that out. Let's get that out. And let's slide this in. This is starting at the top, so and a half an inch. And we're just gonna go around. So we are halfway through one of the end caps. And I'm just going to take it all the way through back to the top. Okay. Now let's work on this side. Let's turn this needle. this glue. Cleaning off this glue. Just cleaning the needle. Alright. So now that that needle is clean, now we are going to work on the other side of the cap. We have one cap on, we're going to work on this side. And we're going to start from the top like we did on the other side. I'm going to remove 2 clips and we're going to sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So here we go. And we're going to start and stop at the beginning and end of the seam. Now we're going to go around. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go around a little at a time. Like basically from one clip to another. And you just go adjusting the bag as you go along. Adjusting, still sewing at a 1/2, removing clips as I go along. And my seam gauge is kind of like helping to keep, you know, the fabric even. I have so many pins in this little area, so many clips in this little area. I was able to take all 4. We're almost at the bottom. And then once we finish putting this dome cap on, we are able to flip the bag inside out just to see what it looks like, see if we need to make any adjustments and stuff like that. It's important to try to keep the fabric as neat as possible if you want a real polished finish. So I'm just flipping the bag over as I go along, removing clips and sewing as I go along. Sometimes you gotta put your hand on the inside just to make sure that it's flat. And once you get past that, now we're at like the bottom where the stabilizer is, so it's pretty much straight stitch here. So this side right here is pretty easy. We're in the middle of the stabilizer now, so it's still easy. As you can see, we're sewing with no problem across the stabilizers. It's really bulky here, but the machine is doing a good job in sewing through the bulkiness. real good job sewing through this because it's really thick. Okay. Flip over as we go along. Remove pins. Remove. And I think I'm going to put my hand on the inside just to make sure that I smooth this out of it. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Just make sure your finger is not close to the needle when you're doing that maneuver. I'm gonna start flipping, making sure that I put my hand back in here. I think having my hand in here kind of helps ease the fabric. Alright, there we go. We're almost done with adding the cap. Alright, coming close to the top now. Coming close to the top now. Put my hand back in here. And voila. Out of the way and not in the way of the needle. Alright. So now what does it say? Repeat to sew the end lining panels to the 5/8 seam allowance. Okay. 5/8 seam allowance. Let's see what this bag looks like, because at this point the only thing left is to do the same thing to the lining. It is a drop-in lining, so I'm gonna flip this out so we can see what it looks like, see if we need to make any tweaks, if we need to fix anything. Make sure that it's sitting the way that it should. This is just the exterior of the duffel. So at this point, I'm going to smooth out my edges, smooth everything out. Oh, this is cute. Same thing to the other side, smooth her out. And this will give us an idea of what the bag is gonna look like. I just gotta do the lining portion, but I gotta get dinner going, so. I love it. I love it. Hold on, let's cut these thread tails. Okay, I'm coming. And this is what we have so far. This is what we have. It looks so nice, y'all. This is what we have. We have the purse feet on the bottom. So I just need to work on getting the lining put in. And she's adorbs. She's adorbs. Very cute. Very, very cute bag. I love it. So at this point, let me take this double-sided tape off of my zipper pull. And I just kind of like rub it. Perfect. There we go. That's one. Right. That's one. And then what I'll do is when the bag is done, I'll take some alcohol and rub all of this glue off so that the hardware is nice and shined, nicely polished. So, perfect. So I think this is going to be a super cute bag. I just need to work on, I have to fine tune her. Yeah. Looks like I need to cut the seam allowance a little bit. But for the most part, this bag is sitting. I like it though. So far, so good. And then she has the rainbow zipper. Super cute. Super cute. Super cute. Alright. And then this is what it looks like on the bottom with the stabilizer. I just need to finish it with the lining. And then we have to do the straps. The straps I can do last on this. My main concern was to see how big of a bag this was going to be as a small. I think this is a really nice size bag. Super cute. Yeah. I'm just basically setting the just rolling the seams out. I'm gonna turn it back out, and I am going to cut the seams down a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the seams down a bit on the caps, and then we're gonna do the same thing to the lining. And we're going to do the drop-in lining. So we're going to drop the lining inside and then just sew around it. But this is going to be a super cute duffel bag. And yeah, super cute. She needs to be flexed. She needs to be flexed a bit. You like it? Oh, thank you. The big is really big. This is the small. And I generally make the medium. This is my first time making the small, and the big is huge. The big is like, it's big enough to carry at least like a week worth of garments. Like you can carry a week worth of garments in it. But that's how I like my hardware. I like to use these. I call it my Superman connectors, but I really like it. I just need to do the drop-in lining. I need to do the lining is a drop-in. I'm gonna probably put two slip pockets on the inside. I really don't need zipper pockets, so I'm gonna skip. Thank you. I'm gonna skip the zipper pocket this go round. I think I'm gonna just put like two slip pockets, one where I could put my phone in, and another one where I can put, my keys or something. Everything else can just be tossed into the duffel. And I like the bottom. The bottom is sturdy enough. It gives it a cute little shape on the bottom. I just need to add the lining. Once I add the lining, it'll be shaped. So yeah. And then I'm going to use the 1.5 inch lobster clasp for the handle. And then I'm going to use the same the same lobster clamp. I'm gonna use it on this D ring, so that way, you know, the straps match. Is 1 inch across, 1.5 inches across the board, but this connector is a 1 inch. So that's why I'm going to use the 1.5 inch lobster clamp and just make it a removable crossbody if I decide to take this to the gym. Or 9 times out of 10, I won't take it to the gym because I don't go to the gym. If I'm going to work out, I work out at home. But this is going to be going outside. This is going to be a weekend bag. So that's what I'm gonna work on for now. I have to get dinner going. I didn't realize that it is now 8:30. So I'm gonna get dinner going, and I will be sure to post. I'm gonna post all my makes now in the next couple of days. Classes are coming to an end, so I want to be sure that I'm able to finish off strong and maintain my um, classes. And next week, so between this week and next week, I'll be taking photos of everything. If the weather is forgiving to us, I'll be able to put some of my SewYves garments on, so that I can move on to the next phase. But right now, I'm locked in. I'm focused on this paper that I have to write. Um, and yeah, this paper. I got some of it down though. I got some of the paper done. Yes, I got some of the paper done. I just need to, do the final touches on it, review it, proofread it, go over it like 3 times to be sure that I'm satisfied with the work at hand. Make sure that I put my citations in there, my references. I need to make sure that I have my references in there because I lose points for that. Um, I'm going to submit that by Sunday. And then once I submit that paper on Sunday, then I'll be able to really sit down and focus on what bag is going to be my hero bag for the month of most likely May. But in the meantime, for April, I will be updating my website. I need to update the website with my new makes. I need to update my Etsy shop with the 3 hero products that I'm planning to put on there. Excuse me. I'm gonna test this Etsy thing out. I'm trying to get some sales online as well as in person. I do really well in person, but I want to try to tap into the online market and see how I do. So I figure starting with Etsy, that'll help me, start to get some type of an audience, right? Of those who are looking for the type of products that I am able to make and supply. So we'll see what happens with that. But right now, it's crunch time with school. Once that's over, we can put everything else in perspective. Until then, I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you. Um, Please be sure to like the live and subscribe if you're, interested in seeing more content and supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys. Thank you and have a great evening. Bye.